This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Shout out to Sphere Rocket VA for making my life easier every day and for bringing you the Icon podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and today we are going to get to know a little bit about Craig. Craig, thanks for joining me.
Gianna, thanks so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course. So take us back to the beginning. Who are you? Where are you from? What market are you in now? And you know what got you into real estate?
Yeah, so my name is Craig Curelop. I'm originally from Massachusetts, but I started my real estate career out in Denver, Colorado. I was working for a company that many people may have heard of called Bigger Pockets. If you're in the investor space, that's kind of what we focus on. And so after working there, I decided to get my real estate license and, started to really take off. And people always, I think my route to real estate success is a little bit different than a lot of other people's. So I think a lot of people do the cold calling and the open houses and the sphere of influences and all that, but I really did none of that. What I did was for my first 3 years at Bigger Pockets, I was writing for their blog every single day. And I would come out with a new blog post about one a week or one every other week. And so after 50 or 60 blog posts, I started to develop a bit of a reputation, and they presented me with an opportunity to write a book. That book was called The House Hacking Strategy. And because of the book, I literally don't even care if you buy the book, it doesn't matter. But just having a book and having that credibility basically catapulted me to the real estate success.
That's really cool. You have a book. And fun fact, I'm from Colorado myself, so that's pretty cool too. I grew up in a little place called Pueblo down there though. And Denver is not fond of Pueblo. See?
We know of Pueblo.
Yeah. Well, Pueblo, we got it good down there sometimes, okay?
Yeah, prices are cheap,
tough
right?
Ones. But that's awesome. What a cool real estate journey. And how long have you been doing it for?
So I've been doing it full time for a little over 2 years now.
Okay, super cool. And we've got a book going. And I haven't talked to anybody that has a book yet, or at least has told me that they have a book. So that's pretty cool. So then what brought you over to EXP? How did you make that transition from Bigger Pockets to the EXP world?
Yeah, so Bigger Pockets is not a real estate brokerage or anything like that. They just provide a platform for real estate investors to interact. I had my license part-time while working with EXP at this small transaction brokerage, one of those ones that you pay them $300 or $400 a transaction and that's it. And you get literally no service whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But because I was going full-time, I was like, okay, I have to weigh my options here as to what the best, what the best fit was. And so I looked at all of them, right? The big ones, at least. I looked at Keller Williams, I looked at Remax, and I looked at EXP. And to me, EXP was just above and beyond all the other options. I felt like Keller Williams and Remax were just a little bit old school. I loved the whole online model, and that happened to work out because COVID and all that kind of stuff. But then also obviously the revenue share piece and able to own the equity piece was huge. And I've a huge shout out to my sponsor, Darren Sager, who's been super helpful. And he kind of messaged me at the correct time and kind of caught me at the right place at the right time. I'm sure that was intentional, but yeah. And so just the support and stuff there was really awesome too.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the support that EXP has. And the only other thing I've heard about it consistently is that people wish they had made that transition sooner. So it's cool to have you here. It's cool to, have people reaching out to you intentionally to get your attention from it. But EXP's got an excellent model. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, which I've noticed with everybody I talk to. As far as being that everybody I talk to are Icon agents, though. So that makes sense, too. But that being said, you made that switch. You saw the model. You liked it. You thought, okay, so far compared to other brokerages, this makes sense for me. So what keeps you here? What makes you really love EXP?
So we have a team of real estate agents now, and the team model is really, really easy, right? And so basically, I don't do hardly anything to manage the team other than just the duties of managing the team. And like EXP takes care of all the back end, they take on all the liability, they take on all of the, the E&O insurance and whatever else you would need to start a brokerage. I don't even know because I've never had to research it. Right. And so the fact that I don't need to even think about that side of the entire business allows me to focus on what really matters, serving our clients, as well as making sure our agents are staying busy in getting new clients.
Mhm.
So that's my two main areas of focus. And EXP allows me to just focus on, the 20% there versus the 80% of the nonsense that many other real estate brokers have to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you like to really have that focus that it almost seems like if you want to take a narrow path at EXP, you can, and then you can pick up, the 150 hours of training a week on the side, or aspire for different awards and statuses, which is really cool about the EXP model. So, obviously you're busy, and I don't know if you're still cranking out blogs or, writing books. You obviously said you do about a podcast a week. How do you take care of Craig? How do you avoid burnout mode? How do you balance that work-life schedule?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, in 2020, I was doing everything myself, and straight up, I was getting burnt out. Like I was doing, lead gen Monday through Friday, and then the weekend I was on showings and writing contracts and all that stuff. And thankfully, there was a worldwide pandemic because I couldn't travel. If I could, I probably would have taken more trips. But like that
Mhm.
year of making a good amount of money and having such little expenses allowed me to like take a step back and be like, you know what, I don't need to continue to do this. I had this option of either I stop the team, I just quit altogether, or I build like a real team. And so I decided to build the team. And so I've taken a step back. I make less money now than I did in 2020, but still a good amount for me.
Sure.
And I'm not the one, showing clients anymore. I'm not the one. I just am trying to help lead generation to send
Mhm.
to agents on the or to send clients to agents on the team. And I'm a resource for all of our agents to make sure that they're providing the best possible service to our clients. And so, I very rarely take calls in the morning. I take my mornings not off, but that's like my deep work focus time. I do a miracle morning every morning, and then I always take weekends off. I never answer the phone or anything like that on the weekends. So
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you've set those boundaries out. And just briefly, we've talked a little bit about a miracle morning on my podcast before, but maybe for somebody who's just now listening, what does that mean? Just briefly, you could just
yes,
summarize it.
for sure. So the Miracle Morning is a book, one of the best books of all time, in my opinion, written by this guy named Hal Elrod, and he studies the world's most successful people and what their morning routines are. And what it boils down to is these six things called savers. The savers is an acronym. The S is for silence, A is for affirmations, V is for visualizations, E is for exercise, R is for reading, S is for scribing or writing. So I just make sure to wake up early and do those things for, a decent amount of time each morning. And I feel really good about the rest of the day.
Yeah, and it makes you, have yourself as a business person, as, just as Craig, very clear so that you can be, your best presented self to your clients, which is really cool.
Yep, 100%.
Awesome. So, obviously to achieve the icon, you have to be in high production, you have to be working hard. So, for those that are listening, what's the icon award? What does it mean to you? What benefits did it bring to you? But in Craig's words.
Yeah. The Icon Award, I believe it is in the top one. It means you're in the top 1 or 2% of all agents within EXP. Um, in order to get it, again, it's kind of a volume number. I think it's like, I don't know, if you do 30 or 40 transactions in our market, you achieve the Icon Award. With a team, it ends up being a little bit more than that. But really, it's a great kind of like bogey or par to hit, just to let you know that you're doing a good thing. The benefits of it obviously are you get your $16,000 that you pay to EXP back in the form of a form of company stock, which is really nice. So I have made more money from EXP's commission than I paid them in commission, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think that was really one of the big kickers that got me over to EXP. Was I was doing the math and I was like, if I can just hit this Icon Award, I'm not going to pay EXP. I'm not going to pay hardly anything in fees, right? Very small amount each transaction. And I'm able to get shares in a company that's the fastest growing real estate company in the world. So it was a no brainer.
Absolutely, and it feels like they're reinvesting into you, right? So that cap that you pay comes right back to you if you are checking off all the marks and, being a ward icon, which is really a cool aspect about that. And it's something to definitely strive for. But as like a new real estate agent, or maybe somebody that's just new to EXP in general, is the icon award something that they should strive for? Is that unrealistic for them? What's some advice for the newbies out there?
Yeah, strive for it. Like, I mean, shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon, right? Or whatever that saying goes. Like,
I
I
think it's shoot
wouldn't
for the moon, land amongst
shoot
the
for the
stars.
moon, land on the stars. Yeah,
Yes,
that's why
I
you're
think you're
here. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I think like, I mean, I hit it in my first year again, right? But like I had 3 years of building a blog and writing a book
Mhm.
before hitting icons. So don't let like, oh, this guy hit it in his first year and I couldn't do it. Like, but there are other people who have hit it in their first year and they're just like pounding the phones, going to open houses. But absolutely, you can hit icon in your first or second year if you just put in the work though. Like,
Mhm.
don't think you're just going to like put a Facebook message out once a week and tell your friends and family that you're a real estate agent and they're all going to use you and you're going to hit icon, right? You got to do something that other people aren't doing.
Right, absolutely. And just making yourself known in your community, however that's got to be through marketing or, like you said, open houses, communication. But you really have to focus on that, set small goals to work towards the big ones. Lean into your mentors, lean into your coaches. I think that's a really important aspect of it. And
100%.
so, Craig, you're at one point you were on the outside of EXP looking in. And was there ever a moment where you're like, the grass is too green? This is a cult. This place is a pyramid scheme. I don't know if I want to make this jump. How would you, I guess, what would you have to say to somebody sitting on that same ledge?
Yeah, it's funny. I was never in that position. I think I was too green to ever be in that position because I was just looking at all the brokerages as if they were the same. I didn't realize the cult and the culture that every brokerage has. But I'd say each brokerage has their own cult and they have their own tribe. And there's a reason why you join EXP or you join Keller Williams. It's because you really believe in their mission, or you really believe in, Keller Williams is like known for providing like great education and very self-improvement and all that. And they do a very good job at that. EXP is known for putting their agents first. Right. And so, where do you want to like lie, I guess? I think it's like, just make sure you do your research and make sure you do what's best for you and your family. And, again, I just don't see any sort of like compensation package that EXP like EXP provides. Not only that, but also the camaraderie, right? Because everyone who's an agent at EXP has ownership in EXP. And so as we all do good, the company does good and everyone else does better, right? Like a rising tide raises all ships. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like EXP is. So it feels great that I can, I'm in Denver, right? I can hit somebody up in Miami and have a conversation with them and they're like more than willing to help me out for nothing, right? I
Right.
just don't
Somebody
know if
that
you
you've
see
never
that in other.
even shook
Yeah,
hands with. It's
yeah, 100%. The community is really like one of the biggest things.
that metaverse, that cloud base of collaboration, basically, like you said, it doesn't do anything for them at all. Yet it does, because one sale is improving stock and the revenue and everything else in between. And, like you said, it raises all ships, which is great. I've heard that saying a lot about this organization. So it really goes to speak for itself. Now, you said you did like a podcast once a week. Now, is that one that you host? Is that you wanting to be a guest on one?
Yeah, I always love being guests on podcasts. So if you want to have me, let me know. But we host our own podcast. It's called Investify, and basically we are just our mission, our whole team, everything I do almost is helping people achieve financial independence through real estate investing. So how can you quit your job at an early age so that you can live the life of your dreams, whether that's pursuing an entrepreneurial opportunity like being a real estate agent or going out traveling or spending time with friends or whatever it is. But that's
Yeah,
live life on your own terms and not your boss's. That's like our whole focus.
absolutely. That's really cool. And they can find you on all the outlets,
All
or where do you guys?
Yep.
Awesome.
So Investify, you can all the outlets, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah. How do you feel like that podcast has helped like your personal branding, either as like a real estate agent or an EXP agent or just an entrepreneur in general?
Yeah, so one good thing about podcasting is that you get to meet a lot of cool different people from all
Mhm.
over. You get to hear different perspectives. You get to ask the questions that you want to ask versus just being kind of like a listener. And it's kind of fun, like watching the numbers grow. And
Mhm.
you run into somebody at a conference, like, oh my god, I listened to your podcast. Like, it's so cool. Like, that's really cool, John. I'm sure you've heard of that a few times. And it's like
I don't know
really,
yet. We'll see.
oh,
We'll see at
I guess yeah.
EXPCon, I guess.
You will, and it's just a really fulfilling feeling, like, oh, there is somebody on the other end listening to me, right? Like, it's not just me and my co-host talking in a microphone, and that's to my mom and whoever else. I actually don't even think my mom listens, but I think like it gives you a little bit of credibility. If people ever want to vet you, they can go listen to your podcast.
Mhm.
I think getting yourself out there in as many ways as possible is super helpful, and it just makes you a little bit more credible and a little bit more trusted.
Absolutely. And that's like what would you say, maybe in 2 hours of your weekly to build up that reputation and that credibility?
Yeah, not even an hour.
Yeah. And it makes it really cool. And like you said, it gets you in front of different people, gets you a little bit of recognition. And I mean, obviously, that's not been tough for you with the whole blogging thing and writing a book and podcasting. So just adding to that credibility has, I would say, from my perspective, fast tracked your career in real estate,
100%.
which is really cool. I love that. I'm going to have to check it out. Craig, I have asked you all the questions that I have written down and then some. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on just a little bit?
Um, I guess, if anybody wants to be like an investor friendly focused agent. So I think one thing that a lot of agents do when they first start out is they kind of just like help anybody and anybody they can. And I'm not saying go deny business, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like focus your marketing and focusing your strategies on niching out. Like, our niche is like first, second, third time investors, people looking to what we call house hack, where you buy a property with a low percent down, you live in it, you rent the other parts out so you can live for free, right? And
Yeah.
so we basically teach people, hey, what are the best areas?
Mm.
Like, let's run the numbers. What are you going to get for rent? What's your mortgage payment going to be? How are you going to find the tenants? How are you going to deal with all the tenant problems that you may have, right? So offer more than just going through a real estate transaction, filling out a contract for someone and guiding them through, right? Like, you have to differentiate yourself. There's so many real estate agents out there. Why should someone pick you? And try to look at yourself from that perspective, and hopefully that's the way you can win.
No, that's a great point, and that's a perspective, that I haven't heard before. People have talked to me about, oh, like I'm certified in luxury properties, or I really focus on my social media following to convert those leads. So to have that special niche is unique, and that's a really, I think, valuable piece of advice for people to hone in. There's training out there about it. Craig, so speaking of that, actually, what are you doing for your culture part of the Icon Award? Are you speaking? Are you coaching? What's kind of your focus there?
So I do the mentorship
Mhm.
thing. I forget what it's called. I think it's called the mentor program. And so because I have a team, all of the people on my team are considered my mentors or my mentees. So
Mhm.
like, that's kind of how I'm helping out in that regard. So maybe that's a cheat, maybe it's not, but
That's okay. I would
yeah,
have
it's
definitely
it's a
pinned
lot of
you for
work.
like doing like investor niching classes. I think you have to teach 6 of those or something like that to be able to check off all the marks. But that's didn't pin you for the mentor guy. I pinned you for like a teaching guy. But you have the
I
resources
like
there for
to,
people anyway.
yeah, I like to spice it up a bit, I guess.
Spice it up, spicy Craig. Well, that's awesome. I think this has been a really great episode. And again, like anything else you want to touch on, because every time I ask you that, you have something very valuable to say. So I'm gonna just
No,
keep digging at it.
yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this episode, at least. Maybe we'll come back on again.
Yeah, I think it would be super fun to do like a little bit of a spin-off podcast. Now that people know who Craig is, Craig episode 1, they can come to Craig episode 2. We could talk a little more about, finding that niche for yourself, or the niche that you work in, specifically house hacking, whatever it might be. I think it would be a really valuable episode.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, Craig, thank you so much for joining me today. And I will be planning on hunting you down at Shareholders or EXP Con to be able to pick your brain just a little more.
Sounds good. Well, hope to see you there.
Sounds good. Thank you, Craig.
All right. Bye bye
Bye-bye.
now.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.